Hi friends, welcome to this week's episode of Wishful Thinking. I don't know why I did the hands. Don't know where those came from, but I am back with you guys for another episode of this podcast. As I said I would. Third week in the row, let's freaking go. Ooh, I like that. Okay, anyways. So I actually am not very prepared for this week's episode. Well, I am. I am, but I'm not. I am, but I'm not. I have a list of a bunch of topics that I want to touch on, like, for my podcast, So I have a bunch of, like, topics in mind, but actually, right before this episode, I had another idea that I am very well versed in that I want to speak about this week. But before we get to that, we have to do our little weekly updates. So first off, we have a drink of the pod again. We have some Nuri. This is like my favorite protein drink. Granted, don't have a lot of experience with protein drinks. So oh my god. That went down the wrong pipe. As you can see, I really enjoy this drink. I really like Nuri. Not sponsored, but it's a really good protein drink. It literally just tastes straight up like milk, slightly sweetened. I'm actually about to go to the city with my boyfriend, so I'm filming this podcast while waiting for him to come get me. So that's the current situation. We're gonna go to the city. We're gonna get some yummy grub. We're gonna just like walk around and have a fun time. And also we're gonna go to a show. I don't know the group that we're seeing. Maybe next week, if I remember, I will give you guys an update on how that show was. In other news, oh my god, my neighbor's frantically running. Okay, I need to stop commentating on everything going on around me. It's just like very distracting. When I'm trying to film talking to myself, I'm very hyper aware of everything going on around me. So that's very fun. But in other news, I recently went to my very first WNBA game. I know that like there's been recent hype around the WNBA because of like Caitlin Clark. I know what she looks like. I have no idea what team she's on. I don't know anything about her, to be honest, and I don't think she's on the team that I saw. I saw the Golden State Valkyries, and I wanted to say this, okay? I wanted to say go to women's sports games because look how freaking hype this is. Okay, first off, I brought some stuff. To show you guys. First off, I got my very first Valkyries game pin. So freaking cute, and their main color is like this lilac purple. So I love purple. Purple is like me. Like that's up my alley. And so like getting this purple pin for this purple team, that's literally like my home team. That's so awesome. It was a Valkyries versus Dream game. I don't know where the Dream team is from. No idea. But it was a good game. We were kind of winning the entire time by like a 20-point lead. So like it wasn't the most engaging game, but I had a really great time. The vibes at women's sports games are so immaculate, okay? I've been to a Warriors game before. I've been to one. So I've been to equal amounts of NBA and WNBA games, okay? And honestly, the Warriors game was fun too, but like I would love to have gone to a Warriors game in their prime. I feel like the energy of that is immaculate, but the energy of like the average Valkyries game, from what I've seen, it was so good, okay? There were women, so many women. Love to see so many women at a sports game. So many women wearing like lilac wigs. There was just like so much team spirit, okay? And maybe I'm just saying that because I haven't been to a lot of sports games, but it was so hype. I had like a lot of fun. Oh my god. And then also, since we were one of the first 10,000 people there, I got a freaking magazine. Hello. It has Veronica Burden and Gabby Williams. Hello, this is fire, okay? And then I do have a bone to pick with this magazine, okay? Why is like 50% of the contents in here? Oh, I'm not showing you guys. 50% of the contents in here is men. Okay, I'm not doing a good job of showing this, but my biggest bone to pick, there's a poster in this magazine. Double-sided. Men. Like, why are we having a poster for the NBA in a WNBA magazine. Well, actually, I don't know if this is exclusively a WNBA magazine, but like, why not? Why don't I get a poster of the Valkyries in here? I'm so confused. Like, rude as fuck. I was gonna put the poster up until I realized both sides are men, and I don't know who these people are. The Thunders versus the Spurs, and I don't know. I just like have a bone to pick with that. Why is the poster from the NBA finals or championship, whatever? Why? Explain that to me, please, because I thought this was a girls' club. Why are we having a men poster? Anyways, so I brought these two objects to show you guys proof of my outing to the sports game, but also just to be like, it's actually really cool. The vibes are really good. Just sitting at a sports game is good, and I didn't pay for the tickets. I was brought. Okay, but I believe that women's sports are cheaper. Not saying that they should be, but I think on average they are. And the vibes are immaculate. So you guys should go and support your local women's basketball team, other sports. I'm not gonna lie, my hot take on sports is that the only one I'm really actually into is basketball. I don't keep up with any basketball, but if I was forced to watch a sports game, I would choose it to be basketball because it's very easy to understand and it's like very engaging. They're just running back and forth, and like it's just like a high intensity, high scoring sport. Like sports like football and baseball and even soccer, like those like sports where you don't score as often. Football arguably is like more median, but the other sports where you like don't score as often, kind of snooze fest in my opinion, okay? I get it's more interesting to someone who gets the game a little bit more than I do, but kind of a snooze fest. So that's my hot take on sports. Basketball is the best sport, and you can't change my freaking opinion. Well, if we're counting like the Olympics, my favorite sports are like gymnastics and ice skating. Those are the only two sports I really watch when the Olympics come around, like exclusively. Like women's gymnastics and women's like ice skating, figure skating, only two sports I watch for the Olympics. I support women's sports, to be honest. I mean, I know there's like so many other sports that women do, but those are my three sports: ice skating, gymnastics, and basketball. Anyways, so the topic of today's episode is the fear of starting. Oh my freaking gosh. This is something that I genuinely struggle with so freaking bad. I don't know what it is. I theorize that it's a mental illness in me that I need to address. I genuinely think it is. I have been obsessing. That word is ironic. I have been obsessing over the past week. This is completely related but unrelated. I have been obsessing the past week over this mental illness that I think I have. Okay, and I know self-diagnosing is so bad. I have such a problem with it because every few months I'll like discover a new mental disorder and think I have it. Okay, and I would just like to say I'm not like officially diagnosed with anything besides like mild anxiety, and that was like when I was a teenager during the pandemic. I know for a fact that there is something mentally wrong with me, and I think that everybody has something mentally wrong with them if they look hard enough. If you look hard enough, if you care enough to know, I think there's mentally something wrong with everybody, okay? I think there's degrees of severity, for sure, and some people suffer from more than one thing. So there's levels to this. But my point is, I think for as long as I can remember, I've had this inkling in me that there's something wrong with me. And recently, Olivia Rodrigo came out with her album, You Seem Pretty Girl. You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. And there's a song on the album called What's Wrong With Me. That song speaks to my soul because I have always felt like, what the fuck is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I know there's something wrong with me because like this can't be like the normal average human experience. Like my experience cannot. There's something like up in here, like neurologically, psychologically, there's something like that's off or like something not typical. Okay. And so recently I have had a new diagnosis obsession that I think I might have. And if you guys are concerned, don't worry, I do have a therapist and I will be addressing it in this week's session. I will be addressing it because I genuinely, oh my god, it's been like plaguing my mind. Like 50% of my thoughts are about this thing I think I have. And I don't want to talk about it because I have no qualifications to talk about it. And also, I don't know if I have it, and I don't want to spread misinformation on the internet on purpose. So I will not be talking about it. But if in the future this leads to an actual diagnosis and treatment and all that stuff, all that jazz, I will talk about it because I love talking about mental health, okay? I love talking about it. It's like I'm studying psychology. I love thinking about what's going on in here, okay? You know? And so if it progresses into something further, it will be an episode. But my point is, I think that this disorder or whatever disorder I have is a contributing factor to my fear of starting things. Now, I don't think you have to have something wrong with you to have a fear of starting things, but I'm just saying I think mine is attributed to that. But for the normal average person, I think it is a very common experience to fear starting things, you know, being new at something, not knowing how good or bad or whatever how you'll perform, not having like expectations of how it'll turn out or having expectations of how it'll turn out and not meeting them. There's just like so many scary unknowns that comes with starting something new, and that is something that I have struggled with for so long. Honestly, genuinely, I think it's not been my entire life that I've had this fear of starting things, but more so since I've become a more conscious person since middle school, high school. That is when I truly started to gain this fear. And I think it's because of social stigma and pressure. You're more aware at those ages of what other people think of you, and that hyper awareness makes you more hyper aware of yourself. And the idea of wanting to be perfect or performing well at things makes starting something new scary. I have struggled with this fear of starting new things for as long as I can remember. To be like 100% transparent with you guys, I think I mentioned this in my first podcast episode, but I have been wanting to start posting content on YouTube for literal years of my life. Years, okay? And it took me until I turned 21-ish to finally start posting on YouTube. Okay. And the craziest part is when I was younger, maybe it's because like I didn't have a full awareness of what the fuck I was doing. I would post slop on YouTube. Genuinely, like I had this weird ass video, which thank God I'm like 95% sure that I took down all my videos from when I was a kid. So I don't think you could find them. But I'm pretty sure when I was younger, I have this like weird ass video. This is like the one that's like the most vivid for me. This weird ass video of like my younger brother doing like we had like these hand puppets, and he had one on each of his hands and then one on each of his feet, and he was just like this, you know, like with his hands and feet like laying on the ground, like doing some weird puppet show. I filmed that and posted it on YouTube. And then like, you know, there's other videos that I would do. When I was younger, I really messed with iMovie, you know, and I still mess with iMovie, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, when I was younger, elementary, middle school, I really messed with iMovie. I would make those movie magic things that they had on there. I just have always loved editing, filming, just doing stuff in this realm. And I do feel like, yes, like a podcast is a more toned down version of that because it's very minimal actual editing. You know, I don't really know what to call it, but this thing that I do, I've kind of changed my outlook on it, and kind of like I mentioned in the previous episode of just like deciding to do something, I just decided to get over my fucking fear of judgment of other people. I've just decided that, and now I am doing it. And does that mean it's not hard and scary and I still like freak out every single time I post anything with the chance of people seeing it and knowing about it? Wait, what was the question? I do freak out. My point is, I freak out every single time. I recently posted like my first ever clip on TikTok of my podcast, and I've kind of also detached from numbers. That's honestly like I'm not doing it for like necessarily success. And so like I've kind of detached from, oh my God, I hope this performs really, really well, because to be honest, I think success is in consistency, and I have not been consistent ever in my life with pursuing my passions or dreams. So I'm not really worried about how things perform, but I am worried or concerned about other people seeing it. And posting on TikTok a clip of my podcast specifically was like, oh my God. I genuinely like I was sitting on that clip for a while, and then I finally posted it, and then I was like, I realized everything would be fine. And if anything, people that found out, like that knew, that follow my account, like they're supportive. And so I think I kind of, I don't know, something about like the fear of starting, right? You have these expectations that you make, and oh my god, is my boyfriend here? Oh my god, is my boyfriend here? Oh my gosh, he's pulling up. Okay, he might be crashing the pod. But my point is, yeah, I think that like along with like the fear of starting, there's like these built up expectations that you make for yourself that kind of lead you to making things scarier than they seem in actuality. And I think so many people are aware that these fears are irrational, but it doesn't make them any easier to conquer, myself included. But yeah, now my boyfriend is here, so I guess we'll ask him what he thinks about this topic. I have to move my bag. My beautiful Coach bag. This is my first ever Coach bag, guys. Wait, let me show it off better. Oh, sorry, the door's locked. This is my first ever Coach bag that I depopped myself for like $60. Okay, welcome everybody, our first ever guest to the podcast. What?
It's like the third time.
Stop! Stop telling them!
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is our third time trying to introduce him, but things keep happening, so
Yeah.
it's not our fault.
Hi, I am Gavin. I am her boyfriend of 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And it's a joy being here. Thanks for having me.
Good introduction. No, this is not ASMR. Okay, so our topic of today is like the fear of starting. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like the fear of starting something new, or like just starting to do something.
Yeah. It can be scary. I don't know. I think it depends what it is, like the scale of what it is, I guess, too.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But like, do you ever get scared of like starting something new? Like, okay, my boyfriend is in a band. They're called the Clementines. Were you like scared to be in a band for the first time and like start doing that?
I mean, kinda, but I also didn't like want to be in the band. I was kind of convinced. So I think
So like you're persuaded into it?
I think it is definitely scary to, especially performing, I think is a little scary for the first time if you're like joining a certain thing. Oh, hummingbird.
There's a hummingbird outside. Oh my gosh.
Hummingbirds are fucking badass because they are predators to like birds that are like way bigger than them, and
wait, really?
their method of attack, or like they're not predators, but like, if someone tries to like fuck with them, then they will like fly into their mouth, and since they have like sword beaks, then it'll just like fuck them up like internally.
Is that true?
Yeah, hummingbirds are really cool.
I didn't know they were predators. I thought they just like...
No, they're not predators. Actually, I think they literally feed off the flowers, but like if someone attacks them, then
they have like a good survival mechanism.
Yeah, they're fast as fuck.
Wow. Anyways, so you said that you're persuaded. Or like, yeah, it's scary to perform. And I was also kind of talking about how I have always wanted to post stuff, like post videos and stuff online, and I feel like that's also a little bit of a performance, but it's not in front of an audience. But it is like, well, it's not like you're in front, like I'm not in front of anybody right now, but I am like knowing that if I'm posting something online that people will see it. So I think there's a nuance to that, but also just like the fact that like there's a possibility of like people I know seeing things. Having an audience of anonymous people, like you don't know who's actually gonna see, I think also makes things scary. And like,
honestly, I would say that's scarier because like I don't know, if you're performing, you're also probably not super paying attention to the audience.
I wouldn't know. I don't really perform a lot in front of an audience.
At least for like, for my experience in like musicals and stuff like that.
Why are you holding your nose?
I don't know.
You're on video, you know.
But like, it is easier because you're working with other people, so you can pay more attention to the other people you're working with instead of like when you are filming something, you're kind of like the center point of the...
I get that, but at the same time, I think filming things is a little bit more comfortable to me. Like maybe we're just opposite in that way. It's more comfortable to me because I'm literally just like by myself.
Yeah.
In hindsight, yes, I'm posting it, but at the time, I'm not thinking like, well, I'm thinking about people seeing it, but I'm not thinking like I'm with people, you know, like I'm just being by myself. And I feel like my most authentic version of myself is me by myself. So it's kind of easy for me to feel like, what I'm putting out there is just like very true to me because I'm by myself. You
Right.
know what I mean? It is like a performance, but at the same time, I'm not thinking of it that way because I'm just by myself.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes things easier, but the actual posting part is what's hard and scary to me because of like the anonymous audience.
And like I feel like when you are around certain people, especially like friends or like people that you respect, you start not performing necessarily,
No, it is
but
like a performance.
yeah, like you kind of like become the person you think they see you as.
Yes, or it's kind of like the term like code switching. You're changing like your tone or like your language or whatever based off like the people you're around.
Hmm.
And I think that is kind of like that. But I think just like it's easy when I'm by myself or also like with you because I'm
Yeah.
like we just spend so much time together. I feel like oh I showed them that I went to the Valkyries game.
Yeah.
I whipped it out. I was like let's go to women's sports, guys.
Yeah, check out the Valkyries. It was actually so wholesome.
I was saying that I was like the
Yeah.
vibes there were immaculate. That's the word I used.
Yeah.
Immaculate.
It's good.
What was your favorite part of the game? He was also there. It was his mom took us with some of his family friends from Thailand, and now we need to go to Thailand.
Yeah. I will say though, like I think it was the crowd that I was like
That's what I'm saying. Like the people there.
messing with more. Yeah, cuz like I like basketball, but like they also just kind of crushed them.
Yeah, I said like they had like a 20-point lead
Yeah.
for the whole game, so the game was not very engaging.
No, also the refs were kind of like booty.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of honestly, this might be somewhat related, but I recently had an eye doctor appointment and I found out that my left eye is like -0.5 worse than my right eye. And I don't know if you guys care about my contact prescriptions at all, but I've been wearing like the same contact in both eyes for like years. Like for as long as I've had contacts, I've been wearing the same prescription because my left eye has always been worse, but it's only been like one step worse. And now it's two steps worse, and I can actually tell that there's a slight deficit in my vision even with contacts. So I need to start wearing two different prescriptions, and I didn't at the game, and I couldn't see that well because we had really high up seats. So like they were little ants. They were little blurry ants to me. But my point is like I couldn't see very well. Like I had a good time, but maybe I also would have been more engaged if I had like 20/20 vision there. Anyways, is there anything else that you've like had experience with, like the fear of starting something?
I guess like college is a little.
Yeah. Wait, that's a good point.
I feel like you have more of a college experience than me though.
Yeah, I wasn't honestly really scared to start college, but I also think that every person is different. So like the things that they're scared to start or do is like wildly different from other people's. But I think that everyone has their thing that they were scared to start. Actually, not college necessarily. I wasn't scared to start college. I was really scared to go back to school after the pandemic.
Mm.
I think I developed wild social anxiety, and I
Yeah.
don't think it was related to the pandemic at all, but just like the fact that I literally socially isolated myself for like a year and a half and talked to none of my friends. Yeah, I socially isolated myself for like a year and a half, talked to none of my friends, and so I was so fucking scared to go back to school because I was like, am I gonna have any friends? Or like it was weird because once we got back to school, like we just picked up like everything was normal. No one really talked about the fact that I just like disappeared off the face of the earth for like a year and a half. And that was a really interesting time in my life, but yeah, I was really scared to go back to school, but I had temporary social anxiety. It was so bad. I had so much anxiety anytime during the pandemic that I left the house. Not COVID related. I was just so scared of seeing people. Like I didn't want to see anybody I knew. I just didn't want to exist as a person, and I didn't want anyone to perceive me. And I mean, I still have like those. Oh my god, my phone is starting to overheat. Anyways, I still have like those times now where I like go out in public and I don't want people to see me, but it's not like a debilitating fear. It's more like I just don't feel like I look as good as I could, and I want you to see me at my best. You know.
Yeah.
So that was something. I guess it's not starting something new, but it's like starting something new in the sense that like it's a new era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also after COVID was just like an awful time to like come back to everything. I feel like
Why?
I think everyone was getting their bearings for sure. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think that experience is necessarily my own, but
well, no, it is your,
well, I mean, I don't think I'm like the only one who like potentially felt that way.
but it's different because it's your experience.
I guess, yeah, I have firsthand experience with that. Anyone else relate to having chronic, not chronic. What's the opposite of chronic? Like temporary, but like not the word temporary.
I don't know.
Acute. Did anyone else have acute social anxiety after the pandemic?
Or before. Or chronic.
Or
Does anyone have
chronic?
social anxiety? Comment down
Anyone
below.
have social anxiety? I actually prepared some things to ask you.
Okay.
Okay, wait, actually, we're gonna take a 5-minute break because my phone is overheating, and also so I can review, because I actually prepared some things to ask him for his first appearance on the podcast. He doesn't know that I prepared, but
Well, now I do.
he didn't know before. So we'll be back. We're back. Okay, so I have some things, some topics I wanted to talk about with you. One, actually, I can't believe I didn't mention this. If you guys didn't know, my boyfriend's in a band, but also he makes music sometimes. And well, he doesn't really put anything out, but he does it as a hobby. And one of the things that he did was he made my podcast jingle.
Oh yeah.
So
I did do that.
do you want to talk about that, or like just like making music,
Um,
or like how did you get into it?
music?
Yeah, like your little like producing stuff.
Um,
Is that what it's called?
Probably like Filthy Frank.
Oh, okay.
Just, well, when I was a kid, I wanted to like do the same thing where it's like, is a character and he was like satirizing like stupid stuff on the internet, and then but he actually like, I mean, I don't know if he put a huge amount of effort into all of his editing and stuff, and like, I thought it was charming. I thought it was funny. So I just started making like joke songs on GarageBand. And they weren't any good, but they were funny.
So that's how you got into it. How did you start making more like serious songs? Or not more serious, but more like, well, you don't really make satirical songs anymore, do you?
Yeah, you just don't really hear.
Oh, you don't show them to me?
Yeah.
Well, what about like the other stuff? How did you get into making the other stuff? I don't even know how to describe it.
I don't know. I've been like interested in music for my whole life, and I think like I follow it kind of religiously. I feel like there's music everywhere, and I try and interact with the world through the mindset of music.
I like that. I like that. What about like the process of like making my jingle? How was that for you? I was kind of like picky. Well, not really, but a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think you were that picky. Also like I kind of just threw it together. Like,
okay, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of care put into this.
I mean, that's kind of how I do most of my music. Like, it's a lot of like a lot of unfinished projects. So it was nice to like be able to do a jingle and just get her done. I do kind of wish I mixed it better, low key, but
well, if we ever do a second season, then
yeah, maybe we'll switch it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said you've posted music before, right? Like, okay, I'm not gonna say where, but like, I'm just saying like you have. Like, were you scared to like put your work out there for the first time?
No, actually posting it was kind of just for me to archive it, but looking back, like,
damn, I'm thirsty as fuck. Sorry.
Cause like it was during COVID that I would like find more time to do things with music, I guess. And I wouldn't say I'm a producer. I would say I was back then, for sure. I was more of a songwriter, and none of the songs that I made back then I would show to anyone.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
And like probably even like a week after, I would realize that like, oh shit, like I should have done this with it. I should have done that with it. And I wouldn't say now I regret it, but I definitely back then I did. Like anything that I released, I would just be like, "Ah, this is terrible." But
Mm.
I think once you get past that first hurdle and you start just doing art for the sake of art, like for you,
Mhm.
or I find that like the most enriching things that I do are like jams with other people,
Mhm.
or like just any kind of like listening to music and like getting those ideas with collaborative minds. It's very nice.
Yes. Actually, speaking of jamming, I recently got a drum set that I've been learning how to drum a little bit too. Not very not very
Drumming
good.
video coming up.
No.
How to paradiddle.
What's a paradiddle? No, that I know that word, but I don't remember what it is.
Um,
Fun fact, guys, I was in band in middle school and I was a percussionist. So I do have a little bit of experience with the drums, but like I literally haven't touched a drum since I was like 12. So I'm coming back to it at 21. But it's not even mine. So every time I have to like go to his house to drum, and I've only drummed like 2 times maybe for like 10 minutes max. So
no,
like 15.
we've done some like
Yeah, but I just get frustrated. I just get frustrated after a while. It's not even like your fault. I think it's my fault. I just get like fatigue of like I get being bad fatigue because sometimes like I'll start off and I'm like closer to the thing I'm trying to drum, and then the longer I go at it, I get farther away from it. So I just get tired because I'm like, okay, clearly I can't do this for like more than 5 minutes.
metronome.
Yeah, I need a metronome. Oh, what is that?
That is a wasp. Make sure that doesn't get into your car.
Sometimes I think that bugs are attracted to me because I have colorful hair and they think I'm a flower. Does that happen to any other curly hair baddies? Let me know, because that's just what I tell myself. I feel like they just come up to me or like come up to my
Wait,
hair.
curly hair or dyed hair?
Colored hair baddies. Let me know, because sometimes I'm like, do you think I'm a flower? Like that's a compliment. I actually recently learned from my roommate that wasps are evil, but bees are good, and wasps kill bees.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes.
I learned that recently because I just thought that bees and wasps like they did a similar thing, but wasps are actually evil. Wasps are the evil bee. Now you know, because I mean I actually can't tell the difference between them, but like if I see one off, like they just look the same to me. I would not be a good etymologist.
if they, okay, if there's anybody out there that has read those like books, like those little kid books where they put two bugs and they had like a death battle, let me know because there was one that
Huh?
was a yellow jacket and a wasp, and it was saying like
Wait, what's the difference between those? I thought a yellow jacket was a wasp.
they might be they're probably same family or genus or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Wish
I clearly
I knew.
don't know a lot
Yeah,
about bugs.
I
like,
don't either. I'm not an etymologist.
We very much derailed from the main topic of today's episode, but we have our first ever guest here. So, welcome, boyfriend. He might be here
Thank you.
again. Maybe not. Let's see what you guys think of him. Let's see if we keep him. I'm just kidding.
It's up to you. You guys decide.
You guys decide if we stay together.
Yeah, vote in the comments.
I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Still really fun to me. So I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. Next week we'll have something more prepared, I swear. Okay, I'm sorry for this one being like on a whim, but it just felt like I wanted to have an impulsive thought podcast episode. So
there's no rules.
this is my podcast. I do what I want. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next week. Where I will see you next week. He probably won't. Bye.
Bye.